This program is brought to you by the Media Liberty Alliance Foundation in cooperation with OBBM Network TV, bringing citizen-led, creative local media to the forefront of local communities to foster a greater understanding of constitutional liberty and appreciation of what makes us truly free, starting with you and me.
The Zach Ratliff Show is brought to you by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Texas, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you're updated each time fresh content comes out. And thank you for being part of the Zach Ratliff Show.
Hello and welcome to the Zach Ratliff Show.
Thank you.
What's going on, Steve?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on.
Well, let's start with the first part of it, which is what's going on in Texarkana Tuesday the 6th at Big Jake's in Nash.
Doc Pete Chambers, Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Pete Chambers, he's going to come in for a campaign stop.
Yeah.
I forget where he's going to be Monday night. Tuesday night, he's going to be in Marshall. So he's in the area.
Okay.
So he's coming by with a campaign stop. And I think it's like 12 to 2.
Okay.
Something like that. And it's meet and greet. So you can just come by and shake his hand, talk to him a little bit. I'm sure he'll speechify for a few minutes too. Talk about, current events, things that are going on. If you don't know, he was Lieutenant Colonel in Special Forces, Green Beret, things like that. So I'm sure he'll have some really interesting insight on the military-assisted arrest of Maduro. What's his title? Maduro's title? Is he president?
Dictator. No, he was not elected the president, although they keep referring to
they called him president, right?
El Presidente.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. And I've met Doc Pete, Doc, whatever. I met him several months ago. A friend of mine arranged for us to have breakfast. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so I've had a chance to sit down with him. That time was well over an hour, just picking his brain, listening, things like that. So I think he is not only a sound candidate, but I think he's got the potential to win.
Yeah.
And I know that's a big statement because
there's a large war chest against him.
yeah, Governor Abbott has. I saw something like $3.2 zillion or something like that. A lot of money, and there's no way really for Doc Pete to raise that without having his integrity compromised. Really, but I think his plans are really good, and I think I think he's got a shot. I really do. And this is different because how many times have you heard somebody say,
Move that microphone up towards you a little bit.
Closer?
Or twist it.
Twist it.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
What was the difference? Test.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Okay.
Anyway, you think what now?
Where was I? Oh, a lot of times in the past, I've heard people say, "Well, I'm not going to vote for him. He can't win.
Right.
He's no way he can win." Well, if everybody says there's no way he can win,
Makes it hard to win.
right? But this time, I've heard I'm not sure he can win, but I'm voting for him.
Yeah.
And I've never heard that for any candidate before.
Especially once you meet the guy.
Yeah, and I think most of the people that have said that have met him, or at least have been in the room with him and listened to him.
Well, I had the opportunity through you and the Bowie County Patriots to sit down and eat dinner with him, and then listen to what he had to say, and meet Lydia, and all the things, and he's just a regular guy.
He is. He has a really long list of significant accomplishments.
Yeah,
he joined the military. He was a Green Beret. He retired, became a medical doctor, went back in after 9/11, was the military advisor to the governor during COVID until they ran him off for saying, "What about ivermectin?"
Yeah.
And then he was in charge of border security for the Texas State Guard, in charge of 6,000 troops, and saw that firsthand.
Yeah.
Something that came to mind today. there's some things that Abbott has done that's applaudable, that he's done well, that he's followed through his conservative promises. There's others that a lot of it. I mean, he's been doing this 3 terms already.
Yeah,
right.
I think that's right.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things he said he's going to do that just haven't happened, like any meaningful change with property taxes, things like that.
Right.
But something that's kind of troubling is, he put that buoy in the middle of the Rio Grande, those buoys, and the left went nuts. The left media amplified the nuts, showed pictures of the buoys, zoomed in pictures where it looks like they were 5 feet tall. Maybe they were, but just like that, he blocked the entire Rio Grande.
Right.
And if you get an aerial photo, I think it was 1.5 miles.
Yeah, you could just go downriver.
Yeah, I mean it was ludicrous. It's I'm trying to think of an analogy right now.
Well, it's like if you go up down here to, it's basically what we've got going on I-30 out here. Yeah, some of these exits are blocked off, so you just have to go down a little bit.
Yeah, if an exit's blocked, it doesn't mean you can't go home.
Right. I mean,
drive a little further.
That's your analogy as to what happened.
Yeah. So, but the media.
I mean,
sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The media amplified the idea that he had blocked the entire Rio Grande.
Yeah.
And they know he didn't.
Well,
and so the fact that the media, who is almost always left leaning, man, if I get off axis, I lose it a lot, don't I?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, I just won't get off axis.
There we go.
Yeah. I bet I will.
Well, here's my deal with the media. I don't know that they were trying to help Greg Abbott. They just didn't. They thought they were hurting him, and really they strengthened him.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the.
But I've got a pretty cynical, suspicious mind about things political.
Yeah.
And so that's my thought. Did the media help Abbott sell the idea that he was protecting the border? I mean, they did indirectly. They might not have done it on purpose. But
yeah, indirectly.
Yeah.
Because if Abbott really wanted to do all that he did to the border, he would have done it years before he did it.
Right? Yeah.
And I've caught some static from people that listen to this show for my stance on Abbott. But I'm like, hey, he shut down my family's businesses.
Right?
There's no one more responsible for that than Greg Abbott.
Antonio Lopez de Santa Abbott.
Yeah, exactly right.
There's a meme floating around. It's a picture of Abbott's face on a portrait of Antonio Lopez de Santa Ana.
Have you seen?
I made it.
Did you? Have you seen the meme? Well, actually, it's an AI video of Donald Trump as a Venezuelan president speaking to him.
No.
Oh, it's hilarious. Gives him the accent, the mustache. This behind them. It's great. All right. Anyway, so Doc Pete Chambers, Tuesday the 6th.
I think that get on X.
Yeah.
Doc Pete Chambers for Texas, I think, is the handle. Get on X and look at it. Look at his policies. I mean, this guy is a thinker.
Yeah.
And there used to be a thing I saw years ago that I really liked. It. Think like a man of action, act like a man of thought. And he epitomizes that, really.
Yeah.
Am I a fanboy? Yeah. I think Texas would lead the world.
That's different than a femboy.
It is much different.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Yeah.
That's what matters.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Huh. That's a Seinfeld quote.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, come meet Doc Chambers. Get on. You know what? Today, if you get a chance, get on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah.
And look up some of his policies.
Or if you're hearing this Tuesday morning,
do it then.
Yeah, do it then, and then that still gives you time to make lunch plans to be at Big Jake's and Nash at noon on Tuesday, January 6th. All right, we're going to roll on.
All right.
We're going to get into some of this Maduro stuff and what's going on. Here it is from Eric, and I'm going to go backwards from as I sent myself the stuff, and we'll just talk to him about the same thing in 17 different ways, probably.
I've got a lot of notes. Let's see how much I can do from my head.
Okay. Eric Daugherty on X.com says, breaking, Democrats are now erupting in panic after Elon Musk confirms he had dinner with the president and First Lady Melania in Florida. stating 2026 is going to be amazing. And then it goes in, Elon is all in on funding the GOP in the midterms. This means to combat the Soros machine, more sources available to get out the vote and counteract Democrat ballot harvesting and fraud. That's good. That's what we need.
Wearing headphones, and I found out for the first time today that every time I set something down, it's been thundering.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I had not heard that.
Yeah.
So he and Trump are BFFs again?
I think it was all for show.
I think it was.
I think it was to save Tesla from the blowback that they were getting over all that. And you want to play what ifs?
Let's do.
Yeah. I think,
what if we do?
Yeah. What if we?
Man,
did?
that would have been funny if that was the first thing I'd say.
Yeah, it would have been, but it wasn't.
What if I was better at this?
So this whole
am I the sidekick? I'm the sidekick.
Oh, you are. I didn't even know. So Trump, I think that Elon, that whole fight was made up. Now Elon getting punched in the face by Scott Bessent, not made up. He had the black eye to prove it. I think there's some of that going on with this Maduro thing too. I think he signaled.
Oh yeah.
That and I think that the way that they did it is, hey, obviously I don't think he knew when we were coming, but he's like, hey, if you come get me, I'll give you everything you want. And I
Maduro said that?
No, that's what I think the signal. That's my conspiracy theory around it is, yeah, we had to go get him, but he's about to roll on a lot of people.
I bet he will.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there about all this. I don't even know which way to go right now with all that.
Well, we can get
keep
to it.
asking more questions. Yeah.
That's what I'll do. That like it's my show,
right?
Yeah. Let's go on. Anyway, the Democrats are freaking out.
I try to read your mind sometimes.
Yeah, good luck. I try to do that as well.
It's hilarious.
So the Democrats are freaking out that Elon's looking like he's going to, and we need somebody to fund us because it's like anyway, I can get there. I was going to go into the local Republican Party and you have to have people that are principled or you don't get donations. So right. you need a big hitter nationally that's like, okay, I can do this. Because the Democrats, have been fundraising off our money through maybe like Somalian fraud or California fraud or I don't know, crazy thing like the UN giving to NGOs that then gave to Democrat. So the Democrats are funding from tax money that they stole from us.
Sure. And Karl Rove, he never picked a good candidate. But the candidates he backed won the primaries, and then they lost.
Yeah.
Or they won, and they were disastrous, but mostly they lost.
Right.
And so it was just, every national candidate funneled, $50, $100 million into the pockets of the news media?
Absolutely.
The traditional, ineffective news media?
Absolutely. Okay, this is something.
Rabbit on that one.
No, you're fine. This is something that I thought we all knew, and maybe we don't. This is from WallStreetApes.com.
If I really knew, I'd guess it ahead of time.
Yeah. Well, I think so. This is from James.
Where does that keep coming from?
I have no idea. This is from James O'Keefe. And it says James O'Keefe on this Wall Street Ape. James O'Keefe exposes a major secret within U.S. government. Now, I'm addressing this from the point that I thought we all already knew this, but you tell me if we didn't already know this. Okay. And we're going to speak for everyone, or the two of us. Quote,
we're comfortable doing that.
Yeah, 100%. James O'Keefe, quote, most people in D.C. are gay, and the ones who are not openly are secretly gay, end quote. I thought we knew that.
I mean, it's been discussed. Apps that facilitate gay hookups tend to have really big spikes in use in the areas where national Republicans gather.
So then here's the rest of his thought. In this is still inside the quote. And I know.
I want to think it's not true.
I 100% think it's true.
Yeah, but
I mean, some of them prancing around on TV, you can tell.
Yeah.
No offense to any gay listeners out there,
right? And if you're not gay and you're a nationally elected official, we're not talking about you,
right? And if you are gay and a nationally elected official, we are talking about you.
Yeah.
So inside the quote, and I know narcissist is an overused word, but in Washington D.C. and in politics in particular, people are so blinded by the love of power, and they're so in love with themselves. It's almost like they're in this little psychological cocoon. You can see, and all the people that aren't out of all the closeted gays that I'm thinking of that are obviously gay are on the Republican side, by the way. And they're warmongers and all of that thing. But I mean, so I would guess that there are some on the Democrat side too. But look, and I'm not saying being gay makes you a bad congressman or whatever. I'm just saying that
we don't have any data to show what it looks like.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I'm not surprised by this. Yeah, I'm not surprised that this is a thing. Like where there's power. Look. I just go back to Rome. Go back to Greece.
Sure.
This is what happens when you consolidate power away from the people. I don't know why that is, other than evil.
I think that's what it is, and I think there's a temptation to the first time you get away with something, and maybe the get away with something is just maybe it's just you bought and sold some stocks and made yourself a small fortune.
Yeah.
Nobody else can do it, but you did. Or the first time that you get out of a speeding ticket, or a DUI.
Yeah.
First time you get out of that, you think, well, I can do anything. After a while, you start wondering, oh, what else could I do? And then you decide, I bet I could just do gay stuff. I guess that's where that goes.
Yeah, I don't know.
But power. What was it, Lord Acton that said power corrupts and absolute power corrupts? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so if you start to think you're untouchable, you start exploring ways to get away with things.
That's just. Yeah, I don't know how you get there because it's just not. It's not in my wheelhouse.
Right. Nobody I know either.
Right. Well, I've got some gay friends.
Well, I don't mean that. I just mean people in power. Maybe they weren't gay, but then they.
But I just want to say,
people that get
my gay friends aren't the friends that I call gay. You know what I mean? Like that's two different conversations.
Right. I just wonder. People that get exposed to porn. Sometimes they get really weird about what they think is
normal,
a turn on. Yeah, like the people that like to dress up as animals, or people that like to lick people's toes and things like that. Would they even think of that if they didn't see somebody else doing it? And maybe they saw gay porn and it changed their thought process. And so I'm just wondering if that's kind of something similar to how people get corrupted after they've been in office too long.
Right, and look, I don't know.
I mean, we see it all the time. We see people in D.C. that act like they're untouchable.
Yes.
They act like they're omniscient. This is what I think, and therefore everybody in the world thinks this.
Yeah.
We see a humongous amount of narcissism and arrogance from D.C.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder if it just kind of translates over into that. I'm just trying to think it through, really. I don't know why, but he says most people in D.C. are gay, and my point is I am not surprised by it. And maybe I should have been, but I'm just not. That's what happens when a culture is corrupt. You can't set things down.
I don't know. Yeah, I've just never said anything about it. I didn't want to be a bad host.
Maybe we need side tables. Or maybe I should just hold it the whole time.
Maybe when we have a new desk created, we'll put cup holders and we'll line them with rubber. Anyway,
maybe we just put like rubber pads down to set the drinks on.
Right, well, that's crazy.
And to do this.
That seems too easy.
I don't think we're going to solve this one, but that's the accusation.
Yes, that's the accusation.
Yeah,
and I'm just not surprised by it. And I thought everybody else. I thought we were operating under that assumption anyway. And apparently,
and maybe they're not all gay. Maybe they're just.
I think being gay is like being pregnant. You can't not be all gay. Either you are or you're
you
not.
Think about it, then you act on it, is my point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
I'm like, I don't know how, you're all gay or you're not, Steve.
The sum of people, not all those people are gay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
I'm like, easy, buddy. All right, we're going to move on. This...
Yeah, your phone?
No, this is an article. AmericanWireNews.com. MTV 24-hour music channel comes to an end.
Yeah, 18 years of music videos
with the same song that it launched with. video killed the radio star.
Yeah.
I think that's, fitting.
Yeah.
But now it's reality TV killed MTV.
Yeah. MTV started closer to the World War II than it did today.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That's the way it works. Okay.
I remember watching it just like either when it started or within a week.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2.
That's crazy.
There was a thing you could watch on Saturday nights. Came out like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. There were videos, music videos, just on some TV show showed them, and then that came out, and I remember it.
I want to now read this from Grok to go into the rest of our conversation about Venezuela.
Okay.
I asked Grok, what is the Monroe Doctrine? And this is what it says. The Monroe Doctrine is a foundational U.S. foreign policy statement articulated by President James Monroe in his annual message to Congress, that was before it was called State of the Union, on December 2nd, 1823. It declared that the United States would oppose any further European colonization or interference in the independent nations of the Western Hemisphere, viewing such actions as hostile to American interests. Specifically, it warned European powers against establishing new colonies, extending their political systems to the Americas, or meddling in the affairs of newly independent Latin American republics, while pledging that the U.S. would not interfere in existing European colonies or in internal European matters, which we have violated that side of it dramatically. The historical context, this doctrine emerged amid concerns over European powers, primarily Russia, Spain, and France, potentially reasserting control over former colonies in Latin America following the Napoleonic Wars and the wave of independence movements in the early 19th centuries, which would be 1800s, for those of you in Canada. It was largely drafted by the Secretary of State John Quincy Adams and reflected a desire to protect U.S. security and economic interest in the region. Significance and evolution of this. Initially more of a declaration than an enforceable policy, the Monroe Doctrine evolved over time. By the mid-19th century, it was invoked to justify U.S. expansionism under the Manifest Destiny, including territorial acquisitions like the Mexican-American War. In the 20th century, it was expanded through corollaries such as Theodore Roosevelt's 1904 edition, which asserted U.S. rights to intervene in Latin American affairs to prevent European involvement. Critics have viewed it as a tool for U.S. imperialism in the hemisphere, dividing the world into spheres of influence. It remains a reference in modern U.S. foreign policy discussions, sometimes controversially, as seen in the recent Venezuela situation.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't have the force of law, I guess.
No.
But it does serve as notice. If you do this, we'll do this.
Right.
We don't want you to do this. Don't do this. Please don't do this. Some notable failures have been Cuba.
Yeah.
Cuba.
Yeah.
I had a Spanish teacher in college. He was from Cuba. But, and Venezuela, and a lot of the others as well.
Right.
Because we know that there's these people coming across the border. They're not all Mexicans.
No.
They're not all people from Central America or South America. They're from China. They're from Iran.
Some of them walked.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about turning back refugees from, say, China.
Yeah.
But think of the determination it takes to walk here from China. If we could find a way to harness that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Okay, so Eric Doherty on X.com then says this. Just in, President Trump says the Monroe... Oh, you know what that is? That's the Bluetooth from my phone to this.
Every time you get a text?
I don't know. Well, maybe I have it on silent, so I'm not sure that that's what's happening. I have it on Do Not Disturb. President Trump, per Eric Doherty, President Trump says the Monroe Doctrine is back. China, Russia, and Iran must be pushed out of the Western Hemisphere. This doctrine was very important. Other presidents lost sight of it. I didn't lose sight. Because, look, we can think about these things. Panama, that's why we've reasserted ourselves in the Panama Canal, because China had taken that over. Many other places, we've noticed that...
Maybe I need to set my things further from the microphone, because when you set them down, they're not loud.
I've also got a ginger touch. Yeah, I mean, if you slap the microphone with the cup, it doesn't help either. But so this is what's been happening. Yeah.
I was wrong. My hypothesis has been proven false.
Yeah. So anyway, as we go into this Venezuela situation, I just wanted to make sure.
I know I'm distracting.
You're okay. For those of you listening, Steve now has flags out and is waving them around while hitting the microphone with him, asking if I'm distracted. For those of you listening, you know that's obviously not the case.
Flags with an L.
Yeah,
that was a previous discussion. Keep going.
Yeah. Breaking. Chuck Schumer was just caught in massive hypocrisy. This is from Barron Trump.
What?
Which is not real Barron Trump. It's at Barron T News. It's a commentary account on X.com. In 2020, Schumer slammed President Obama. No, not Obama. President Donald Trump for not ousting Maduro.
He should have.
In 2020. He brags about Venezuelan policy. Give us a break, Schumer said. He hasn't brought an end to the Maduro regime. Fast forward to 2026, Schumer is actively fighting Trump's actions. Now it's War Powers Act. The president couldn't do another thing in Venezuela without Congress. We have to pass this. Everybody is troubled. Everybody is worried. This is the Democrat way.
Yeah. Criticize you if you're not doing it. Criticize you after you did it.
Yeah.
And the War Powers Act, I looked that up. It's a War Powers resolution, really, of 1973. Before that, I think presidents could say, well, it's my job as commander-in-chief to take care of these little things when they pop up.
Yeah.
And the War Powers Resolution 1973, War Powers Act, said that he was very limited in that. I think he had to give 48 hours notice, he had to give 48 hours notice of after he did something. Mm-hmm. And if he did any kind of short-term operation, it was limited to 60 days.
And then Congress has to pass
and then Congress has to pass something. And if they don't, then he's got 30 days to get out. So he can do... I don't know if it's 48 hours of commencing an operation or 48 hours of ending it.
I think it's ending.
And that's a huge gray area right there.
Right.
So it's taken 3 weeks, and everybody in the world knows about it. He didn't have to go before Congress until he was done.
Right. Which is why nobody knew. And there are even reports, and I don't even know if I have this on there, that Hakeem Jeffrey's office tried to leak what they knew of this to Maduro.
I'm not surprised, and that's what he said. He said, if I told Congress, they would tell Maduro.
Yeah.
They would tell Russia, China, Iran. They would tell somebody.
Yeah.
So he was acting within the limits of the War Powers Resolution. Mm-hmm. They called it a law enforcement thing because they're arresting Maduro.
Who's been indicted.
Yes, he has been indicted. Now he has, but he had been before, I think. Yeah, he had been indicted in absentia for several things: weapons, bringing hostile people into the country, mm-hmm. Drug trafficking, quite a few things.
Yeah. And
so they just went and got him, and now he's sitting in jail, or maybe a hotel room, who knows, awaiting trial.
Yeah.
So they did go and get him. He had been indicted. There's still, I've talked to a lot of constitutional people over the last 2 or 3 days, mm-hmm. and there's still some huge gray areas.
There's some questionable things there.
You probably got more to.
Yeah, we can get into it. This is from Kurt Schleicher on X.com. It's the 10 best things about Trump's Venezuela victory.
Oh, yeah?
10. America's enemies are terrified. Absolutely. You had Russian air defense. You had Chinese defenses. You had Cuba's top security guys, professionals, were Cuban special forces were Maduro's close team.
Yeah, and every bit of it got wiped out. So, China said, just go along with this. We'll protect you. And it's quite obvious that they couldn't.
Yeah,
even despite all the stolen technology and everything that they've had from us for years, for whatever reason, it didn't work.
Or they don't have, they have it, but the ability to operate it is also, because when in the horrible withdrawal from Afghanistan, where China got a lot of weapons and the Taliban got a lot of our weapons, the overriding thought was, they just don't know how to work it.
Yeah, and that made me think back to when Trump won the election the first time in 2016. Mm-hmm. he took a call from the president of Taiwan. And people go, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You don't admit publicly that Taiwan exists because China will get mad.
Right.
And Trump's like, whatever, didn't care. And it turns out China will get mad. So?
Paper dragon, as they say.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And this makes me think of that. So now we got, China's going to protect you. Well, they didn't at all. And there was a Chinese envoy there.
Yeah.
He had just gone to bed. Maduro had just gone to bed. Yeah. He had just gone to bed after meeting with these people, talking about, he owes China whatever. China is owed, I think $18 billion. And they're taking oil in payment. They're taking.
Well, and let's talk about this. The oil and the infrastructure that is aging now that was there was put there with U.S. dollars.
Yeah,
from U.S. companies.
did it. Yeah. And when he appropriated all that and said, well, this is ours now.
Because it was Hugo Chavez that did that.
Yeah, they couldn't or didn't maintain it. And if it's not turning a profit, there's no money to maintain it.
Right.
So,
at one point, I think in the 90s or early 2000s, Venezuela was the number one purchaser of F-150s because they had so much money.
Yeah, they're like the Saudi Arabia of the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, they have more oil than Saudi Arabia in ground.
They do, considerably more.
Yeah. Okay, so number 9. Democrats went from siding with Somali fraudsters early in the week to communist narco-terrorists who ignored democracy by the weekend. It's true.
It's true. They've been defending the fraudsters, and now they're saying, listen, just because somebody is a dictator and he's sending fentanyl into our country and taking people out of prison and sending them to our country and making sure that Trinidad Aragua has automatic weapons, why would you treat it this way?
Yeah, why do you not like them? Anyway, this is from Kurt Schleicher on X.com. Number 8. Add the 10 best thing about Trump's Venezuela victory. Number 8 is libertarians are upset. He's just happy about that. And I think that's hilarious.
It is. I was the chair of the Libertarian Party in Bowie County for a while. And there's people just like me and you here. But
I consider myself somewhat libertarian until you get to everyone should have legalized all drugs. And
yeah. And I think most people that are conservative are lowercase L libertarians. Leave me alone. Right. It's the party that here, like I say, quite a few people, probably 30, 35, maybe 40% of the people at the Libertarian Convention, state convention that I went to, were people like us. Yeah. The other half the majority were not.
Yeah.
Even they might have dressed like us, but they weren't. They were anarchists. They wanted to use the party to. They had nothing constructive.
No, that's right. Number 7.
Yeah.
Unleashing Venezuela's oil production will screw the Iranians and the Russians. Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a huge push to get rid of the petrodollar, that oil is priced in dollars worldwide.
Right. With the whole BRICS push is what this is.
They don't want people to think in terms of dollars. They want to think in terms of yen or whatever. What's Russia's dinar?
No, that's India.
Yeah.
Rubles.
Rubles. I think
is that Russia?
It used to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so this once again is the list from Kurt Schleicher on X.com. I like his number 6 as well.
Russia, China, and Iran had massive presences in Venezuela.
Yeah.
Invited in by Maduro, who lost the last election, but said, you know what, I think I won. So,
which was our point by taking those boats full of oil, was, hey, we can stop this flow. Like, that was kind of the warning shot.
Yeah.
We've got I think we've got 303,000 barrels of oil, $17 trillion in oil we're holding right now of Venezuelan oil.
Yeah, 303,000 barrels is 1,000th of what they have in the ground, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
They get 300 and something billion barrels.
So the 6th best thing about Trump's Venezuelan victory is, this guy's funny. We blew up Chavez's tomb and screw that guy. So that's great.
If you look at the heroes of Che Guevara, Cesar Chavez, not great people.
Not good people.
I think Simon Bolivar, I'm trying to say it with his Mexican accent. Simon Bolivar. He was a good guy.
Yeah. Number 5, everybody who had doubts about Pete Hegseth has to contend with the fact that our recruiting is through the roof, Iran has no dukes, and Maduro is worried about picking up the soap. Number 4, the video of cheering Venezuelans. They're celebrating.
I haven't seen any pictures
of mad Venezuelans.
Right, Venezuelans. Well, there's a few. Somebody sent me a link of there's an organization that within I think 20 minutes of this operation in Venezuela, they were coming out against it, and they're funded by pro-Venezuela. I mean, by people in Venezuela that are pro-Maduro, but they're not actually pro-Venezuela. And obviously there's a difference. So some of the protests, I mean, they came out like super fast. Within 12 hours, I had nicely printed signs. They were protesting.
It's crazy how that organically happens every time.
It does. It's weird. But actual Venezuelans are just ecstatic over this. And I think what's his name? The mayor of New York City, Mamdani. He's like sad. Yeah. They are throwing off the warm embrace of socialism, collectivism.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, it's about the oil. Okay, let's say it's about the oil.
Yeah.
If we allow Venezuela to sell their oil and give it the profits back through a capitalist society to the people, their lives are better. So even if it's about the oil.
And that's what it was before.
Yeah, it was a great country. The sale of the oil is going to enrich the lives of the Venezuelan citizen, not just the leadership. But that's the joke, right? The Democrats, the socialists here in this country, they also want to control all means of production and commerce so they can enrich themselves and then dictate to us what to do.
I think the socialists and communists in our country are different. I think that when they finally take over, it's just everything's going to be warm and fuzzy. There's no place else in the world where socialism and communism has been the form of government that there wasn't just massive deprivation, starvation, murder, things like that. But somehow the Democrats, the socialists and communists in the United States, I think when they take over,
would you do a search for me?
It's going to be fuzzy.
Would you search how many deaths are attributed in the 20th century are attributed to socialism and communism? And it's over 60 million.
Oh, it's way over 60 million. I just did that.
Okay.
I could have left Grok open.
Number 3.
Wait, hold on.
While you're searching, you already got it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to read number 3 anyway. The Monroe Doctrine is great again. Number 2, the Cuban communists are literally wetting themselves because, like I said, it was the Cuban special forces that were protecting Maduro. And number 1, and I've had to look this up. It was
think about all these people from these countries, North Korea, a lot of these Central and South American countries, the generals. Think about, you see them on TV, and you think, one big magnet would take them all out because their chests are covered in medals.
It's like going to the scrap
They're
yard.
constantly telling each other how awesome they are.
Yeah.
Nobody in the world could stand against us, and the United States goes in and
2 hours, 2 hours,
zero casualties. I think somebody got
2 guys got wounded, and then one plane got shot.
Wounded or hurt?
Yeah.
There's a difference. I mean, wounded.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it was wounded or hurt is what I think it was.
If you run around a corner and you
run into a wall.
Yeah, then that's not wounded.
I got you.
Yeah.
And so number 1, and I had to look this up. It says it was the Army and Delta Force instead of the Navy and the SEALs. And from whatever, I'm no military person. I've never served in the military. I appreciate anybody that has. I have utmost respect. But apparently there's a difference in Delta Force and everyone else. Like Delta Force is the top of the top.
Yeah.
But here's what I like about Trump. Not that the SEALs aren't good, not that they don't have their specialty, but they do. But I know nothing about it. So when everybody tries to come at me in the comments, I'm not saying I know because I don't.
Yeah.
Trump is for maximum force at an exact time, maximum effort, and then to get out.
Yeah.
Make it happen. There's, just, and one of the reports were the Cuban special forces guys that were there, they were eliminated, not, put on the side, not, hey, no holds barred, go in and do the job.
And I think I read something like there's 40 to 60 casualties on the other side, which isn't many. But I think I read that the majority of them were Maduro's personal bodyguards, which were predominantly Cuban.
Well, 40 to 60 versus 0 is...
I mean, me and you could start a little group right now and call ourselves the whatever elite force.
Texarkana Elite Force?
Yeah, and then just, go out and do things.
You heard it.
You hurt yourself on a desk.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about this. Well, you deserve a medal for that.
Yeah.
And so we could call ourselves wonderful and awesome and the best there is and undefeated.
Yeah.
And apparently that's what these people were doing, and they had no... They thought they were. Maybe they really thought they were.
Do you remember, and then I'll let you read what we looked up. Do you remember the punching bags that had a face, and we always named ours Bob, right? The guy that was the punching bag. They've just been working that guy out, thinking that they had it all figured out, right? It's like the guy that goes out there and trains on that thing all the time. Yeah, you're in shape, and you can do it, but never actually been in a fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many... read the question and then the answer.
I asked how many... It gave me some pictures of these things.
Oh, that's not good.
So I had asked what was the lives lost to under communist regimes, far more than any other ideology in history. It says Soviet Union from 1917 to 1991, including the gulags, Great Purge, famines, deportations, but those are still counting deaths. 62 million. That's just the Soviet Union. China from 1949, plus some earlier attempts. Let's see, 87 to 91 million. They had a famine that they were calling the Great Leap Forward, but it resulted in famine. The Cultural Revolution, reform. One of the things they did in Vietnam when, was it the Khmer Rouge took over?
I don't know.
I can't remember. But they went through, if you're wearing glasses, they killed you.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're an intellectual and you're just going to cause problems.
Yeah. Too much thinking, which compare that to our school system in the U.S. Don't think for yourself, just do what you're told.
Yeah, they're safe. Cambodia, that was Khmer Rouge, 1.5 to 2 million. North Korea, 1.7 million. Vietnam, 1.7 million. Yugoslavia, 1.1 million. Ethiopia, 725,000. Eastern Europe satellites, which would be East Germany, Bulgaria, Albania, Mongolia, Angola, Mozambique in Africa. The total exceeds 160 million. Altogether. Dead from communism and socialism.
But don't worry, we'll get it right this next time.
Right?
And it always winds up with, like you said, killing the intellectuals, killing the weak that voted for it.
Yeah. I've seen memes. There's one of some, I guess it's a guy with blue hair and ironic clothing, and he's up against a wall.
It is my phone doing that.
It is your phone. He's up against a wall, to be shot. He goes, "Wait, I'm one of you."
Yeah.
And there's another one, and it's like, well, it's not that one, but it's like the look on your face when you find out that the commune already has a poet,
right?
And you need to go work the fields.
Yeah.
Most people that are for all this, they don't think that they're going to be the ones working, or that face when you realize that the communist symbol is a hammer and a sickle, which means you got to work, comrade.
Well, pigs get to live in the house. I'll go ahead and play this video. You're not going to be able to understand it, I don't think, but. So what this is this is from Anna Lulis on X.com. This is Venezuelan Christians chillingly pray for the liberation of their country, humbling themselves before God. Wow. If my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face, then I will heal their land. 2 Chronicles 7:14.
Yeah.
That's what they think is happening. This is what they've been praying for. And so there's a sect of Christians there saying, this is what we've asked for. But don't worry, your local Democrat thinks that this is bad. Yet the people of the country are for it. Now, I'm not saying this was an act of God, but I am saying, a lot of people are, Donald Trump's not a Christian. I don't know. I've never asked him. But God, throughout history, has used whomever he saw fit to continue his work from, Cyrus to whoever the kings were.
Yeah, look up the story of how Esther got her job.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That was my response every time somebody said, "There's no way that God could use a sinner like Trump."
Like, well, I don't know.
He used Nebuchadnezzar, but go back and see how Esther, Queen Esther, the Feast of Purim came about because of her efforts.
Right.
Go back and look and see how Esther got her job.
Right. Okay. This is from Charlie's Voice Rising on X.com. Reminder, people forget. Back in 2015, Venezuela's dictator lost it when Barack Obama officially labeled Venezuela as a national security threat to the United States. Not one Democrat objected, not a peep. Fast forward to now, those same Democrats are suddenly outraged.
Yeah, it's all political theater until it's not.
Until it's
You know what? Here's a litmus test. A mentor, somebody I respected immensely, said that every country that the United States had gotten involved with, I believe since World War II,
worse off.
We left them worse off, and China is an example of that.
Yeah.
In fact, that's how the John Birch Society. John Birch was a Christian missionary, and he worked for the U.S. military during World War II.
Because Japan had invaded China.
They had
and taken over,
and China was working with us. Chiang Kai-shek was a Christian. He wanted to have a Republic of China like the United States, not like the People's Republic that wound up.
Yeah.
And John Birch saw that the United States was propping up the communists in deference to, or in opposition to the good people that Chiang Kai-shek represented. And so I think the statement was, since World War II, the United States has never gotten involved in a country that we did not leave it worse in terms of freedom and more dangerous for Christians.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there might be some exceptions to that, but I don't know what they are. So let's see. And if you're a Democrat or a liberal, you don't care about those things.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us, was it constitutional what he did? I'm still not sure.
Yeah. And that's the problem. That puts me on both sides of this issue.
Yeah. But does he leave it? If in 6 months or 3 months, the way things go, in 3 months, is Venezuela arguably, demonstrably better off than it was Friday night? Now, not in terms of whatever crap the leftists use for their measuring stick, but in terms of freedom of the people, in terms of freedom to live their lives, freedom to make their own decisions, property rights, spend the money the way they want to spend it. Is it better for Christianity?
Right.
So we can go back in 3 months, 6 months. That's a really good litmus test to what did we accomplish there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a running joke, not so much a joke, years ago, that if John McCain came to your country to talk with the leaders, it was about to be bad.
Yeah.
Your leaders weren't going to be leaders much longer.
No, that's exactly right. So here's this from General Mike Flynn on X.com. Everyone paying attention yet? The world just changed course. It's not simply about energy, but also access and control. Number one, the Panama Canal must be controlled by the United States. Number two, the Caribbean and all the key straits in and out of the Gulf of America must be controlled by the United States. Number three, the financial markets and global wealth must be controlled by the United States. Number four, access to beachfront property that Venezuela afforded to China, Russia, Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, and nasty drug cartels must be controlled by the United States. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's how we protect ourselves.
And so the rationale behind that for a long, long time was if we let it operate in a vacuum, it's going to deteriorate.
Right.
And so we've got to have a standard that we set it up, that we establish and do this. But the downside of that is that we haven't lived up to that.
No.
And so maybe we will. Here's an interesting thing to think about. It's only been 1 year of Trump 2.0.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of things that I just didn't agree with.
Yeah.
But, and I still don't know this one. I don't know if it's constitutional. The War Powers Act lets him do that. He does not have to. He does not have to declare war.
Right.
He can.
When's the last time we declared war? It's been a long time. It It wasn't in Korea.
No, Korea was a police action.
Yeah, just like this was.
Well, I think we had a declaration of war for
Nam.
No. I don't know.
Maybe we had one for W. Bush and
Gulf 1, Gulf 2?
with Iraq.
Maybe. I don't remember.
But I mean,
Yeah.
We had 20 years worth of war there. And that's the thing, 20 years versus 2.5 hours.
And, Clinton, what was it? Bush said, well, if I attack somebody, I'm not going to send a $2 million missile up a camel's butt and call it a victory. It's going to be something real.
Yeah.
Barack Obama said, turns out I'm really good at killing people.
Yeah.
And was bragging about that.
And he killed American citizens.
He did. He weddings, birthday parties.
Yeah.
He'd drone strike and just vaporize people. And
I'll give you this.
why are these people mad at us? Well, because we just killed Grandpa.
But the U.S. president has access to information, more information than we could ever imagine.
Right.
And so even when Obama did it, I'm like, maybe I give the benefit of doubt to the sitting president in those situations.
To some extent, yeah.
I mean, got to.
Yeah. But then if you brag about it, it turns out I'm really good at killing people.
Yeah, I mean, that's a different
remember when John Kerry, the people on the left just loathed the military?
Mm-hmm.
We heard in the White House that military people would show up and they would just be ignored. I don't talk to people in uniforms.
Yeah.
And the loathing that the left had towards the military. Then John Kerry gets up when he was nominated to run for president, he got up and said, John Kerry, reporting for duty. And they all just lost their minds. Mm-hmm. Yay, he's wonderful, yay. And war is horrible. When
Is this the liar John Kerry?
Is there more than one?
Didn't he? Yeah, okay. So he lied about some of his
accomplishments and throwing his medals over the fence.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a long time since I've thought about that guy.
Well, that's good.
Kind of dog like that.
But so the left hates war, unless the left is waging war.
Which
so
they're constantly
they applauded Bill Clinton's everything he did every time he sent a missile up a camel's butt.
Yeah.
They applauded. I'm assuming they can hear this on the podcast. They applauded everything that Obama did. He got a peace prize before he even took office.
Yeah.
And that's not something that's easy to do. Getting a peace prize,
which means they submitted him the year before he was ever even in office.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
so that's not something anybody can say I did. I got a Nobel Peace Prize before I might have been accurate in my little slip. A Nobel Peace Prize before I ever even did anything. But then I think he holds a record for drone strikes.
Side note.
And bragged. Turns out I'm really good at killing people, and all of his fans go, "Oh, swoon!"
All right. Side note. Now it's not the Nobel Peace Prize, but I've been afforded the opportunity in my life to meet some Nobel laureates. For like science and stuff like that. Yeah. And
that's cool.
Have had, actually two of my friends that are listeners to this show were with us one time when we had brunch with them, just friends of the family, and one of them was a Nobel laureate. And I just kind of let it slip that, this guy's a Nobel laureate. And they're like, do what? You just supposed we're going to brunch. I'm like, what?
For what? What were they Nobel laureates?
I think chemistry.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and anyway, it's pretty cool. Just thought I'd work that in there. You don't often get to tell about that, and it's not just go around listening like, I guess what I know.
Well, I don't know any Nobel laureates, but I know you.
Yeah, and there we go.
Yeah,
6 degrees, baby.
That's just 1 degree.
You think you can get to Kevin Bacon? I can get to anybody. Name them. I'm there. From open source intel on X.com. Nicolas Maduro arrived at DEA headquarters in downtown New York. The scene is unfolding in New York under Mayor Zoran Mandami, who has absolutely no authority over this. And then it says, it's kind of messaging to Mandami. You might be mayor, but the big boys are in town and you're completely powerless. Is that why they sent him to New York?
I don't know. There is it's not the Southern District of New York, which is, I think, had some problems for regular people. I mean, I didn't say that right. I think that Southern District of New York, that court has caused some problems for Trump in the past. Mm-hmm. But I think this is a different.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, and I can't remember all the details.
Now let's go to this.
It just sounds like I made it up.
It does. Sidney Powell. You remember Sidney Powell? She's been much maligned for saying that there was fraud in the 2020 election, which she's looking more and more right every day.
Right. And I want people like Giuliani. Turns out he was right. He needs restitution.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is from James R. on Real Person. I don't know, James R. on X.com. Just go with that. Newsmax report. In a triumphant display of President Trump's unyielding resolve for national security, the Department of National Intelligence, DNI, under Director Tulsi Gabbard, has revealed CIA intelligence exposing a desperate Democratic attempt to sabotage a U.S. military operation. A brave whistleblower from within the DNI provided documents to CBS News showing how Democratic leadership traced back to House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries' office tried to tip off Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro about an impending capture mission. However, the warning arrived moments too late. Maduro was already in U.S. custody, being flown away in a military helicopter after a flawless operation. President Trump's strategic appointment of Gabbard has been key in unearthing this treachery, proving once again his administration's prowess in neutralizing threats.
That's pretty cool. So he's a minority leader of the Senate, is that right?
A minority leader of the House.
Of the House.
Yeah.
And he was trying to warn our enemies.
Yeah.
At some point where someone's going to say, isn't that like against the law?
Some call it treason.
Whatever you call it, you know. But I'm pretty sure it's against the law.
Yeah. And then there's this from Benny Johnson. And like I said, everybody, this is going to be a heavy Maduro show today, but I mean, as it should be. The arrest of communist dictator Nicolas Maduro signals doomsday for the globalist left. Venezuela, as we've said, is a proxy for China, Iran, and Russia, used to terrorize the U.S. with fentanyl, mass illegal immigration, gangs, and cartels. Millions of Americans have died. Maduro's arrest shuts it down. He also knows how elections are rigged worldwide, including the West. If he talks, it exposes billionaires, NGOs, and foreign governments, the whole globalist machines, which is why he will be Epsteined quickly.
Maybe not this time. Maybe we don't need a second meme. Maduro didn't kill himself.
I mean, it's coming.
But that is referring to Dominion voting machines, that software and stuff. Was that your next topic?
Yeah. But go with it. Yeah.
Originated in Venezuela. And I think the group in Venezuela bought a U.S. company and started using the software, the hardware, and it's been used worldwide.
And so the 2.6 million Trump votes that were deleted were through Dominion machines.
Yeah.
So here we go from, I can't even say the name because it's not in our language. It's KAG Drago on X.com. Trump just posted this video, and you can see it on Donald J. Trump on Truth. He did post this video about Dominion voting machine fraud. You think the timing is a coincidence? It's a Venezuelan military intelligence whistleblower confirmed the CIA outsources election rigging technology like Smartmatic and Dominion from Venezuela.
The CIA outsources election rigging
for each one of these.
Yeah.
I found that there were about 25,000 ballots that were not printed from the official Dominion PDF ballot. In other words, the printing process, appearance, is completely different than what you would get from a first-generation PDF printing.
We had approximately 25,000 ballots that were not created from the PDF that is used.
Anyway,
for the
it goes on and on. It's a 5-minute video. You should go watch it, listener and viewer, because it just lays it out there. And Donald Trump just laid it out after the Maduro arrest. Go ahead, Steve, about Dominion.
No, that ties it in pretty good, I think. I mean,
Steve and I don't prep each other, by the way, which is that's what makes this fun.
It's like the old Late Show with Jeff Peterson.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait.
Mind meld, not Jeff Peterson. I don't know what Jeff Peterson.
That was the robot.
Yeah, okay. So I was thinking
Wait,
of the
that's
robot.
not right.
Yeah, the robot. His name was Jeff.
It was. Craig Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson.
And Jeff something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite as manic.
Sometimes we get there. This is more from Liz Churchill. I don't know if she's related to Winston or not. This is old footage of Sidney Powell on Fox News.
Voting results in Venezuela for Hugo Chavez, and then shipped internationally to manipulate votes for purchase in other countries, including this one. It was funded by money from Venezuela and Cuba, and China has a role in it also. We have staggering statistical evidence. We have staggering testimony from witnesses, including one who was personally in briefings when all of this was discussed and planned, beginning with Hugo Chavez and how it was designed there, and then saw it happening in this country as soon.
So, is it all about oil? No. Is it all about drugs?
I don't think so.
Are we surprised that Trump has all this? No. Everybody acts like Trump's just helter-skelter and just, let's see what happens. He had years. Like, when I get back, this is what we're doing.
He's still not the best at hiring people.
No.
Unless Bondi has just suckered us all into thinking that she's not doing anything and they're going to drop the hammer at some point.
Right.
But I'm tired of waiting for hammers to drop.
I am too. Well, okay, so I want to play this clip from Tim Burchett.
Venezuela several years ago.
Hold on, I'm going to start it over.
Hey, everybody, Tim Burchett. I'm sure everybody's waking up to the news of what's going on in Venezuela right now.
It's about 2 minutes. So.
Maduro, the dictator down there, he was convicted in drug court. He's a narco-terrorist. They pump tons of that junk into our kids' veins in this country and would do absolutely nothing to stop it, funded by those folks. And he took over Venezuela several years ago, became dictator, seized all the oil production, and currently is the Chinese delegation, Chinese Communist Party, was meeting with him, and we believe they were orchestrating a partnership with that oil. And of course, they would use that oil when they tried to move on Taiwan. They'd need that in a major military operation like that. So it's really a two-prong type deal. We took out a drug dealer, and we
I like Tim Burchett.
And our friends Taiwan in one swoop. Of course, the media is going to be pitching a fit that they were not, and the left wing of our Congress is upset that they weren't briefed on this. Of course, they weren't briefed. They would have run straight to the media. The same thing they did when Soleimani was taken out, and Trump took him out with a strategic missile strike. And so it's, as you see on the History Channel, what happens with drug dealers, thugs, and international thugs and dictators and mobsters. They always either swing them by a rope, shot in some alley, or take an international perp walk and getting ready to do some serious time. And that's what's going to happen to Maduro. He's been seized, and his wife, DEA, had him. And so I think he'll be away for a long time. And I've said it many times. You know, I don't know that I want Donald Trump teaching my Sunday school class down here at the Baptist Church. But dadgum, I love him in the White House. So we'll see what happens. He's going to brief the country at 11 from Mar-a-Lago.
So that was Representative Tim Burchett. If y'all aren't following him, you need to, because he claims to be the poorest congressman because he won't take the bribes, he won't do the insider stock trading, he won't do all the things, but he will talk about it. And he says, if you go watch his interview with Tucker, if you want to know more about that, like he really gets into the threats that he gets over not taking some of the bribes and stuff.
Speaking of threats and bribes,
go ahead.
The Somali stuff in Minnesota.
Yeah.
There was a lady that voted, and she was in their state rep, I guess.
Did we talk about this when you were here? I talked about this with some, or I brought it up in passing. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm really interested.
She was murdered.
There were two of them.
Yeah. I think she and her husband.
Maybe that's right, but I thought there was two representatives were murdered, but maybe it was her and her husband.
Well, either way. But she knew when she was speaking up against all the fraud in Minnesota that she was. I mean, you can tell
she's in tears talking about it, and she's going, I could not vote for this, and she's crying because she knows she's a dead woman walking at that point.
Yeah, and that's horrific. Going back and look at it in context, Elon Musk has said that fraud is. We talked about this with the premium listener a week or two ago when we were here. That the level of it. So like a half of $500 billion is half of a trillion. I think we're talking about $100 billion. That's a tenth of a trillion.
Yeah.
And we're in debt $40 trillion.
Right.
So that's significant. Elon Musk said that the fraud is in the trillions.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up. Let's hit the Somali thing, but then I want to get to this out of Washington and these two sisters that are making $774,000 a year.
Is that real or is that just hypothetical?
Mario Nawfal has the actual sisters.
Oh.
And they watch each other's kids as a daycare.
Yeah, I thought it was hypothetical.
That he's presenting it as real. Hold on, let me just look.
Well, it's okay. I mean,
no, the state pays up to $33 an hour per child. So one watches 4 kids, and the other watches 4 kids, and they're pulling in each $387,000 a year.
Yeah,
watching each other's kids. So the fraud that you're talking about that Elon lays out, all this debt, this massive debt that we have, if we kill the fraud, it goes away.
And the idea that these people can make themselves really wealthy off of fraud, but they come after us if we don't report $601 in transactions. And it's been that way forever. I mean, you could go rob a bank and get 2 years in prison, or you could falsify records on your tax returns and get 10 years in prison. There has been an ongoing effort for a long time to terrify you about doing your taxes wrong. And to anyone who tries, they get worse punishment than a rapist.
Yeah. Because this thought has gone in my mind and left my mind and gone and left twice, so I got to say it.
Okay.
You, as a John Bircher, me as a John Bircher, actually, if we followed the Constitution, and then we had these things called appropriations bills, and then you passed 12 of them like you're supposed to, then you would know, you would have a better feeling for what we're funding and where the money goes. And if we did that, a lot of this stuff would solve itself because we're like, oh, that's stupid. Why are we paying for that? Well, why are we paying for, dolphins high on cocaine to learn how to underwater basket weave in South America?
Right.
I didn't even know they had dolphins that did drugs or could weave baskets. So, but we're paying for all
and
this.
And we're learning that they might not even be performing the experiments because the daycares in Minnesota didn't actually have children. And I've seen things like they have 4 daycares in one neighborhood.
Or 60 in one office building.
Yeah. Yeah. and there's a huge push right now about how much. I shared a meme. This lady's like, okay, so do I just Venmo my taxes to a daycare in Minnesota, or do I do the paperwork like usual? I need to know.
I've long heard it said that by people close to me that they wished they would get a picture of the families they support with their tax money, like when you used to have, those commercials around the holidays, like help these starving children, and they will
what's her name?
We'll send you a picture. Anyway, and that's a little bit heartless, but it's funny, and so I said it. However, I travel around our city a lot for work and outside of our city. And I was driving through some areas of town the other day, and I noticed like 4 daycares just stacked right there on top of each other. And I said, I never see any kids at these, and it's a route I travel pretty often. I venture to say that Minnesota is not the only. I venture to say, and not just with Somalis, that this is happening in every state, not just blue states.
Yeah, I think that's going to come out. I'm almost positive that I saw someone say, maybe Elon Musk, say that the fraud in California is insanely higher than it is in Minnesota. But they've got more people, they've got more resources, they've got more money.
And I presented.
I had never thought of that. There are places that I have seen that say daycare on them around here, and I've never seen kids.
A lot of them. I never even see cars there. I'm talking about midday.
Just let this get out, and you go driving around. They're going to make all the kids just stay outside all day.
It's raining and cold, and they're like, we're playing.
We have real kids.
But now I have family members that own daycares in another state and highly regulated, right? I mean, because if a kid dies, it really ruins your daycare. Yeah. And so now I'm not saying we shouldn't regulate our daycares. I'm just saying there are a lot of them around that you're like, as this happened, I started driving around. I'm like, wait a second, this is happening right here.
Let's go to lunch and
look for some?
Just drive by a few.
Okay,
we'll knock on the door. We don't see the kids. Show us the kids.
I've got a couple areas right now.
I can't hear the kids. Let me hear the kids.
All right. Well, with that being said, we're about to get out of here and go daycare knocking. Do you have anything else notes that you had? I think we covered it pretty extensively.
I think so. Let me scroll. Oh, by the way, when Maduro said he was still president, that rigged election, or he just said I'm not leaving, I'm still president. Joe Biden didn't. The Biden administration didn't acknowledge that he was president.
Yeah,
most places didn't.
That's right.
China, Iran, and Russia did, but
of course they did.
I wonder if there's anybody that thinks that China, Iran, and Russia, their involvement in Venezuela, was for positive outcomes for the human race in general and Americans specifically.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Hey, here's this one. You're looking that up. This is from Redline Report on X.com. The U.S. government says foreign aid will now go straight to the national governments and not go through NGOs.
Interesting.
What? Why would we do that? Why would we take away?
I remember Sam Kinison, the comedian that would scream when he was doing
move to where the food is.
Yeah, he went someplace to go feed the hungry people, and they landed in this city, and they had to drive for hours to get to these people, and they're in the middle of nowhere. There's no water. There's nothing, and they're all just sitting out there starving. Why are they here? Why aren't they where there's water? Why aren't they where? Yeah. But
move to where the food
go
is.
where the food is. How many of those people?
His dad was a preacher.
He was, yeah.
He's hilarious, was hilarious.
Was hilarious. So you gotta wonder. I mean, there's like a little village of starving children. Are they just being used for photo ops? They're going to die soon, and we'll get some more.
I feel like yes.
I wonder if how tightly regulated the media was in Venezuela. I wonder how many of the people that got blown up last week in drug boats full of drugs.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of them knew that it had been going on for 3 or 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, probably none.
They just go, hey, go where Miguel went. He'll meet you in Miami, whatever. Go there.
Good luck.
Team up with him.
We'll take care of your family.
Yeah, but then they go out there and they get blown up.
Yeah.
And they don't know that's even a danger, a possibility.
Well, how many? I mean,
that's cold.
We could really rabbit hole on this and say, talking about the photo ops with the villages full of kids or whatever. I mean, we all know someone, or we see people that do charity, but then they only do it if people can see them do it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Right.
All right. What do you have? And then we're going to get out of here.
Well, let's see. At the Boone County Patriots this week, Thursday evening, we're having Chris Spencer. He is running for United States, state rep for our area.
He'll be on the show recording earlier that day. I think I worked out with him.
Okay.
If not, I'll get it.
Yeah.
He and I've at least talked about it.
Yeah. He is, he lost 2 years ago in a runoff. And since then, he has spent a lot of time working on ways to eliminate property taxes in Texas.
He's got some good plans.
He does. And they have been, I haven't heard anybody say, no, that won't work.
Yeah.
And he's been talking to people who've been discussing this stuff for a long time. These are real plans. Property taxes are evil. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say, but what are we going to replace them with? Well, you're a psychopath. They're evil. Let's just say that. Just say they're evil.
Yeah.
But then if you say, what do we replace them with? Then that's messed up. So he's going to be the speaker Thursday night to Boone County Patriots. So come meet him, see him, and then again tomorrow. Pure evil. And then tomorrow, again, noon to 2 at Big Jake's Barbecue in Nash. Come meet Doc Pete Chambers.
Yeah.
You might go shake hands with the next governor of Texas.
Yeah, and he's worth meeting.
Very much.
Anyway, thank you all for listening. Thank God for another day. I hope God blesses each and every one of you, and we're going to get out of here.